chapter, that is how do your organisms reproduce. So along with this video I have put the notes of the previous chapter, that is a combined note, that is how do organism reproduce. The note of this I will give along with in next week. Why? Because I have to confirm something, because it is of second, that means from October onwards this has to be started. It is coming in the second term, so I have to ask and I'll take this. So I will begin this chapter today. So the notes I will give you next week if I am continue with this. And this week I have given only the notes of the previous chapter, that is control and coordination chapter. The full notes I have given, so you can hear the lecture and notes I will give next week. So in this chapter we are discussing why these organisms have to reproduce, and what do you mean by reproduction. The definition, if you are asking for a reproduction, it is very simple: producing young ones of its own kind. That is called as reproduction. And if any organism can produce an young one of its own kind, that particular organism can be called as a species, which is of 9th standard, that is diversity of life. So this reproduction and the species both are connected. That means reproduction is producing of young one of its own kind. If any organisms can produce young one of its own kind, is called as a species. And why we have to reproduce? Reproduction is having lot of advantages. Number one, it can maintain the number of species. Number two, it can bring variations. Number three, it will help in the genetic flow. So many importance are there. So anywhere if the reproduction is taking place, the most important thing is transfer of genetic material from one organism to another. That is a very important thing. And when this genetic material is transferred from one organ, it can be a DNA or it can be an RNA, because in humans we have DNA, but there are some organisms that will infect E. coli, Escherichia coli, which we call it as bacteriophages. It's a virus that infects E. coli. That also is transmitting its genetic material from one generation to another. So that is also considered as reproduction. And this reproduction are of two types. One is known as sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. And this sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction both are reproduction, but sexual reproduction is more advanced and very stronger than asexual reproduction, just because of one thing: the sexual reproduction can bring variations. So variations are very much important for a species for its survival as a group. But individually if the variation come, there is no much advantage, because one will consider a person whose parents are very brilliant, but a child become not as brilliant like their parents, or if their parents are of very less brilliance, but a child is very big, very high in its level. So those will cause some minor issues in the society. But when we are taking as a full species, that means as a full family, this variation is very important. And this variation takes place in sexual reproduction is because of meiosis, which is a two cell division you have studied in 9th standard. One is mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis is responsible for that variation, but mitosis is not responsible for variation. And mitosis is a cell division that takes place in all the asexual reproduction, but wherever the sexual reproduction takes place, we will be having meiosis, and meiosis brings variation. Why meiosis bring variation? Because in one among the stages of meiosis, the chromosomes will cross over. That means one chromosome will cross to other chromosome, so there will be exchange of genetic material, genes will be there. So it is not a compulsory thing that every time the crossing over has to takes place. So if the crossing over is taking place, we will get variations. So wherever the organisms are in reproduction, the first priority goes for the transfer of genetic material. If the genetic material is not transferred properly, and if the chromosomes are not matched properly, it will leads to abortion, even in the human cases also. Even after the formation of a zygote, if the chromosomes are not matched properly, any time that particular cell will be, that growth will be terminated, which will leads to natural abortion. So it is a very common thing, because if the chromosomes are not matched properly, then there is no use of that particular organism to survive in this world. So the body itself will destroy it. And this importance of the variation, I have said, this variation brings drastic change, because of variation only we people are here. Because even if when you see inside your classrooms, there will be a person with high IQ, less IQ. Some are very smart in dance, some are very smart in studying, some are very smart in social activities, some are very smart in that. This all together brings, and consider a classroom like that, all are studying, all are study people, that also will not work out. Consider a class that none of them are studying, that also will not work out. Because here studies me in the sense, I am not talking only about a textbook, in all the sense. So that is also not good, not good. So variations are required. If there is no variations, maybe sometimes everybody may do only white collar job. So we need a person who is possible to work in the field also. So we need everybody. So first we will go to the asexual reproduction that is taking place inside the microorganism, that is taking place especially in the unicellular organisms. So this first one is fission. Fission means division. That means one bacteria will be divided into two. So that is known as the fission. And one of the best example that we have given here is the amoeba. And if you see in this amoeba don't have any shape. That is why we'll call it as amoeba. Somewhere we'll say that amoeboid movement. That means they don't have a particular movement. And if you see this amoeba, one particular cell, it is unicellular in nature. This unicellular, after the division of the genetic material, this particular organism is dividing into two. Since we are getting two amoebas from one division, we will call it as binary fission. Binary means two. And the next one, that is called as the multiple fission. This multiple fission is one of the most common thing that takes place in Plasmodium. That means which is responsible for causing malaria, Plasmodium vivax, which is a protozoan. So if you see inside this multiple fission, inside the multiple fission, what will happen is fission will take place inside the cell. That means n number of nucleus will be newly produced, newly formed by the process of division, but the cell will not divide individually. When the exact time comes, they will divide. So like amoeba, soon after the division of the genetic material, then the cytoplasm divides and it is formed into a new species. And here in the multiple fission also the same thing takes. Multiple fission is opposite. That means inside the cell all the nucleus will divide. That means multiple nucleus will be formed because of fission, but when the condition comes it's favorable, they will divide. That means cytoplasm will divide and it will form. And if you see in yeast, which is the most common thing that we can find inside our kitchen, yeast will form through budding. That means same thing that has taken place in Hydra. So they are the reproduction takes place inside the organism in the form of budding also. And one more thing, you have to understand this: all the lower level of organisms, whatever we see, it doesn't mean that the amoeba will divide only by binary fission. No, but amoeba is a best example for binary fission. That's the only meaning. In some conditions there are amoebas which will form through regeneration also, and yeast will never every time yeast will divide only by budding. No, there are some yeast is also there which will divide by fission. That yeast is known as fission yeast, and the biological name of that yeast is Saccharomyces pombe. So that yeast itself is called as fission yeast. So they will divide by other methods also. So this is the most common things what we can see here. Next one is regeneration, and regeneration, the best example is planaria. And if you see here, in regeneration, one planaria is there. It is a one organism that if this any part of this organism have the capacity to regenerate into a fully grown planaria, that particular process is known as regeneration. And next comes the budding, which is a common thing that takes place in hydra. And one more thing, wherever the asexual reproduction takes place, mitosis is the key division takes place. There is no meiosis. So keep this in mind. And this can be called as clones, that is exact replica of the parents. Whatever the organism that is formed through asexual reproduction can be called as a clone. That means exactly like the parents, and the survival of them are depending upon the environment. If the environments are not good, their survival will be very difficult, because there is no variation takes place, and very rarely only these organisms may show any sexual reproduction. Very rare, because most of them lives in a condition where it is not suitable for them to survive. And hydra, the same thing, which is by the bud. That means the bottom part, a small bulging will come, in which the mitosis takes place. That will become as a bud, and this bud will separate from the mother parent, single parent, and it fall down and grow into a new hydra. And this, in sometimes in plants also we can see some type of asexual reproduction, which we call it as vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means from any part of the plant apart from the seed, if a new plant is growing, that can be considered as vegetative propagation. So one type of this is called as the bryophyllum. This is a particular plant where the leaf tip can be grown into another plant, this which is called as the vegetative propagation. For vegetative propagation there are many examples are there. For example, rhizomes, banana, then ginger, garlic, bulb, onion, which is in bulb shape, all of them, they are growing by vegetative propagation. And even budding is also there. If you see potatoes, each and every potatoes are having eye, and each and every eye have the capacity to generate into a new next generation. So these we can see in plants also. Next one that is coming is the spore formation. Spore is spores can be seen in both multicellular and in unicellular part. That means the spores will be stored inside an hyphae. You can see that long slender thread, and the tip you will be having the bulb, and inside the bulb like area we will be having the spores, and this bulb like structure will burst open when the right time comes, and it will releases these spores out. And these spores are very much resistant against the environmental conditions. They have thick walls to protect. When they come in contact with the moisture, they will grow. So these are the main examples for asexual reproduction. So please go through this and if you have any doubt, let me know. Thank you.